Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Touchdown Tech. This is episode 3, and in this episode, we're going to be recapping the game against UT Chattanooga as well as looking ahead to Davidson this Saturday. But before we get into all that, Adam,
we got a big shout-out.
We got a little shout-out to give. The starting left guard at Tennessee Tech football team, Tyler Wagner, messaged me the other night. He said, keep the episodes coming.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Dude, that's incredible.
How cool is that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so cool.
Honestly, it's like great that we have someone from the team watching. That makes it so much like more worth it.
Yeah, like I mean, me and you, we have fun doing this, but it's nice that we get recognition. You know what I mean? It's nice to know that people are actually watching and listening.
Knowing that a dude like that, like a starting guard for Tech, listens to the podcast that's crazy. But for everyone out there that watches, we thank everyone for their support. So
for sure. Yeah.
We're just grateful to be here, really.
Yeah. No, big shout-out to T-Wags for sure, and the rest of the offensive line. Those boys are eating right now. We'll get into that here in a little bit. Also, shout-out to Shepard, man, the technical director.
Yep, Shep, our technical director.
I mean, might as well, without Shepard, we're just two guys in a room, a dark room, just talking.
Yeah.
So, he's the man that makes it all happen. So
I could sit in a dark room and talk about football regardless, but...
You might be listed as insane.
Well,
but
we're all a little insane.
We are a little insane. You know who's insane?
This whole
Tech offensive line.
This whole team, honestly. Let's be real.
All right, let's get into the actual recap of the Chattanooga game. So the final score, 45-17 in Tucker Stadium on Saturday. Adam, kind of give me some tips and pointers and just notes from the game overall. What did you see out there on the field?
Well, overall, I'm going to start on offense. And the best way I can describe it is the most famous line that I can think of, perfectly balanced as all things should be.
There you go.
Passing and running is perfectly balanced. Passing, we had about 292, 240. That was from Kakoa.
Mm-hmm.
One pass from Jace Wilson for 52 yards and a touchdown, that's crazy.
That was a bomb.
Yeah. And then 292 rushing yards, which is very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But, the offense being balanced was something that Coach Wilder talked about after the game, and it's something that they've really prided themselves on, and it's a great look for this team. It shows that we're not weak in any areas on offense. Everything's clicking, everything's moving, the scheme's working. So that's the biggest takeaway for me.
Yeah, the offense is really balanced right now, and that's exactly where you want to be in week 2 offensively. Like you said, Coach Wilder in the post-game press conference was really bragging on his offense and his offensive line too, that we'll get into here in a minute. But just the balance of the overall offense is deadly. Going back to that pass from Jace Wilson, that was to Luke Shields. That was at the end of the game, and so that was cool to see. It was a deep shot at the end of the game, and a lot of the teammates were rallying around him, so that was a cool moment. So good for Luke Shields to get in on that. But like you said, 292 rushing, that's a lot.
That's so impressive, really.
That's really just kind of a normal Saturday for this team. You know what I mean? Like even going back to last year, this team could run the football, all 12 games of the year, and they're seeming to continue that success this year. To me, the rain, it may have affected Chattanooga quite a bit more than it affected Tennessee Tech. I think it took a lot away from what Chattanooga was wanting to do, and it played right into Tennessee Tech's strengths. Yeah,
but I don't, honestly, in my opinion, 45-17, I don't think it took enough away for them to lose that bad,
Oh, no, Tech's a lot better than them, straight up.
That's so impressive because we play them next year when we move to the Southern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great preview for what might come from that move. We might get in there and we might make that conference like we've made the OVC. We're going to win titles.
That's the hope, yeah, of course. I mean, going into the game, UT Chattanooga had votes to be in the top 25, so they're not a bad football team. Tech made them look bad, though.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to say earlier with just the rain and stuff, I think that just plays into Tech's mentality as a football team. They're kind of a tough-nosed, just grind-it-out kind of team that's going to run the ball on you with that big offensive line. And
also a few deep shots here, though.
They did. I know. That was a surprise to me with the deep shots and through the air. They didn't seem to have any problem throwing the ball through the air with a wet ball. I think one pass did kind of sail on Vesperis, and it did get intercepted, but as you can tell by the final score, it didn't affect anything in the game. So, but no, he looks good. Vesperis looks good again, through 2 weeks against a higher-up competition. They didn't have to run him like I thought they would have to.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. You want to keep him as healthy and as full strength as possible as the season progresses.
Yeah, well, when you got all these dogs in the running back room, you don't need your quarterback to run. I mean, we had 2 guys that average over 10 yards a carry. in Quintel Quinn and Aiden Little.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive, first and foremost. We have a guy in Quadarius Jennings who had 42 rushing yards. There's a few more guys that got involved. This running back room is stacked. Everyone there, I don't think we have anything to worry about there. I don't think we need Kekoa to run, quite frankly. I'm sure he'll get some yardage on the ground, but overall, team's doing great.
Well, when conference play comes around, you want to have some different things to throw at people, and I think with Vesperis being able to be mobile, I think that would add another element to the offense. But like you said, if we're running the ball with those running backs who I've been high on since the summer, I thought Tech's running backs were great, and they look even better than I thought they would be. If you can continue the success with them, you're not going to have to run Vesperis, so you're right on that. Quick little story on Aiden Littles, though. I was at the game covering it, with the camera and whatnot, trying to take pictures. Flood and rain. Just rain, just constantly. I got there a little bit late. Literally, by the time I got there and put my bags down, it was already 7-0. So I was like, okay, we're off to a good start. That's good. So they're coming my way, right? I'm on the back end zone. They're coming my way toward the scoreboard, and they hand it off to Aiden Littles, and he's coming down the sideline. I'm like, I'm sitting here. I've got the camera like this, taking the picture, and I'm like, man, he is hoofing it toward me. He's just like taking off. I'm like, huh. He's getting closer and closer and closer. So I'm sitting here snapping in the shots as he's coming after me, and he's looking directly at the camera. And I'm snapping and snapping. I'm like, I got to get out of the way. Yeah. So I sidestep by that time, and thankfully he was athletic enough not to just hit me right in the chest, because I don't know if I'd have made it out. I don't know if I made it out alive on that one.
Honestly, no offense to you, but I wish ESPN would have recorded that.
Yeah,
I would have saved that forever.
I would have been everywhere on all platforms right there. I'd have gone viral. But no, Aiden Littles, he's had a really good year so far, catching the football as well as taking off and running off of the handoffs. He's averaging an insane amount of yards per carry. It's just, but I credit all that to the offensive line. Not all of it, but
yeah, absolutely.
I just do, because when you've got multiple running backs that are having those high yard chunk plays like that, you're whipping somebody up front. That's just the bottom line. It's great that the running backs are able to just run in a straight line, but you're whipping somebody up front when they weren't getting touched. That's my thing. The running backs aren't even getting touched half the time. I think Quintel Quinn did have a tough run towards the end of the ball game, which looked like Marshawn Lynch, his beast mode 3.0. But other than that, I didn't see a lot of contact on the running backs. They were pretty clean jerseys for what the work they put in.
Yeah.
So shout out to the running back room, yes, but offensive line, I'm high on them boys.
The O-line, they're doing great through the first two games. I'm sure they're going to keep it up. That is a group of 5 guys who are they are good.
Yeah.
There ain't really a bad spot on that O-line. They're all doing their part. Let's transition from offense to defense.
Let's do it.
Defensively, pretty good game. Only allowing 17 points, but overall, the defense was just playing great. All around.
Check the rushing yards. If I'm not mistaken, the rushing yards were somewhere around 25, which Tech could get in one play on Saturday if they had the ball.
Yes, 25 yards in total
25 yards rushing for the entire day. Man, that's an impressive stat. I know they were able to throw the ball some, and I want to go ahead and give Camden Orth a little bit of credit. That kid got hit all day in the rain. He kept getting up. He was actually able to deliver some pretty good throws. So credit to Camden Orth.
Fortunately, that did not translate to his rushing yards. 10 carries for negative 12 yards.
That's the sacks right there.
Yeah.
He got took down.
The starting running back only had 12 carries for 22 yards. That's an average of 1.8.
That's Ryan Ingram. That's that guy I was worried about for Tech, because he's he's like 230. I thought he was going to be a big bowling ball, and Tech handled him just fine.
That's one of them guys you just got to swarm to and wrap up.
Yeah.
You can't take him on single-handedly, but Tech, they did a great job. Defense played amazing, really.
Well, I go back to the line of scrimmage for like the 15th time already in this episode. The defensive line. That's the first level defense, right? Yeah. If you're talking about the run game, the defensive line is vital in that. Whether they're shedding blocks and making plays in the backfield, or if they're just keeping the linebackers, clean their jerseys so they can go make plays. They got a big job in the run game. Defensive linemen do, and they've been playing great. So shout out to both lines of scrimmages. To me,
talking about a certain lineman. I think right now, we'll get back to defense, but I think right now is a good time to bring up Dude of the Week since we're talking about D linemen.
Let's go ahead and do Dude of the Week.
My pick for Dude of the Week, Deion Gaines.
D-Ron,
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. He played amazing. Co-defensive player of the week in the OVC Big South.
Yeah.
7 total tackles for he had a sack and a fumble recovery. Played amazing.
He was everywhere.
Honestly, I think he was the biggest contributor on defense. We had a lot of guys getting back there. We had 3 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 4 interceptions. 4 pass breakups, an interception. It was great.
Yeah, I don't want to toot my own horn here for Theron, but I said in last week's episode, I was talking about Camden Orth and him wanting to get outside the pocket and them trying to contain him and keep him inside.
Yeah.
I told y'all it was going to be a Theron Gaines game.
Yeah.
And that dude took over. You know what I mean? 7 tackles, like you said, and a sack and a fumble recovery. He was everywhere. Number 9 was just everywhere you looked. He was in the backfield. And that entire defensive line deserves credit. Theron Gaines was just the guy that got the notice for it because of his stats.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Sandiford, Canston Brooks, Theron Gaines, A.J. Crawford, Maurice Lapierre. I'm leaving somebody out. I know I am, and I hate that. Xavier Randolph.
Yeah.
There was guys. Nobody was getting blocked. No matter who they shuffled in and out of there, nobody was getting blocked. And that's what I'm so impressed is the depth at defensive line. I wasn't sure about the defensive line group because you just didn't, when you're looking at that defensive line group in the roster, you don't see many notable names that you're like, oh, I remember, and two, arguably their best true pass rusher, Hudson Tucker, he's out right now. He's not playing.
Yeah.
And that's what's even more impressive. No offense to Hudson Tucker, but you're not even feeling his presence or his absence, I mean. And so that's just so super impressive for them to lose that big of a caliber of a player and just keep having success and having, production from that group. So, yeah Theron Gaines, dude of the week for sure.
This team absolutely lives and dies by next man up.
Mm-hmm.
This whole team's good. I mean, you see it on offense a lot. A lot of guys get involved on offense. Defensively, we're not missing a step. I really think that's the mentality is next man up for this team. That's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah. For my dude of the week, Shepard, if you'll slip to this camera right here, I got the entire offensive line. Okay, left tackle, Christian Thomas. Left guard, Tyler Wagner. Shout out T-Wags. Center, Drew Water. Right guard, Nathan Simmons. Right tackle, Logan Weidman. That group dominated.
Phenomenal.
They dominated. They're the dudes of the week to me, and they might win the award several times if they keep playing like that.
Multiple dudes, 5 dudes. Maybe take them to 5 guys because those guys deserve some burgers.
5 guys. They could absolutely put the hurt on some 5 guys. I bet.
I can put some hurt on some 5 guys.
Yeah.
Okay. I tell you what though, they all played great. It was phenomenal all around. Honestly, we could include the entire team for Dude of the Week, but we're taking it as an opportunity to spotlight a few players. This week we have 6, but we'll
Dudes of the week.
Dudes of the week.
Yeah.
Hey, but we'll continue to try to find different guys throughout the season to shout out. Every guy deserves a spotlight, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a shame that this is a team sport, because all of these dudes, they could be stars.
Yeah, I agree. The next point of conversation I want to talk to you about is it's not as positive, I guess, as the rest of them, but it's just something that I want to talk about. DJ Lincoln's on offense. We kind of need to get him more involved. I don't know how in the world we're going to do that, but I think moving forward, I think he needs to get the football in his hands more. I think they've got a lot of flashy new weapons in the transfer portal. You got guys like Maury Sullivan. Trey Holloway has come along. I mean, he's one of the most dynamic players we have offensively. Tramel Jones, Noah Robinson, guys like that who are playing great. I don't want to take anything away from the receivers right now, and especially what Vesperis is doing. But DJ Lincoln's was the guy last year.
Mm-hmm.
He was the guy, and he's coming back, and he's still on the team. I would like to see them try to get him more involved, and you may see that later on down the road. That's what I think is so cool about having so many receivers to throw at people. By the time Game 6 rolls around, this team is already game planned for Noah Robinson. Then you got number 10 over there running wide open, so that can open up things. But I just would like to see DJ get a little bit more involved. What do you think about that?
I totally agree with you. It's definitely a situation of he's a guy from last year. He played really well. We want to see him do great.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best way I could relate it to is it's kind of like my college football 26 dynasty.
Okay.
When I have a player from my previous season that I just think is a dog,
right.
I want to force feed him the ball. I want to get him yardage. I want to get him stats. I want to get him up for awards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the kind of feeling we have about DJ Lincoln.
Yeah, well, you're right. I have a little bit of partial favoritism towards the guys that were there last year because those are the guys that really laid the foundation for what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
We're 2-0 for the first time since 2012, and that's awesome. But the guys last year, that team was good too.
I believe, now, I may be wrong on this information, but I believe if we go 3-0 next week, which is a very big possibility, It'll be the first time we are 3-0 since 1976.
See, I was going to try to figure that out on my own.
Yeah.
And I was going down the line of the years, and I got to 1998, and it stopped calculating it for me. It's like, I don't know what you want. I was like, I don't know. Last time Tennessee Tech was 3-0 in football.
Well, as a Tennessee fan, I stopped thinking about everything before 1998. That was the greatest year of my life, and I wasn't even born.
Peyton played before 98, but I see where you're coming from, though, as far as championships goes.
But back to Tennessee Tech. We'll talk about Tennessee in our free time. But, yeah.
We got Georgia this weekend, guys. Go Vols.
Yeah, go Vols, baby. But overall, the team, I mean, going since 1976, going 3-0.
Long time.
That's a very long time. This team, but they deserve it. I mean, absolutely, they've worked so hard, and they've built this into what it is, and I'm very excited about the future of Tech football. We're moving to a new conference. We have a great team, great head coach. The future looks bright. This looks like a team that could honestly, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but this looks like a team that might run the FCS one day.
Well, yeah, that's a bold statement, but I agree. You're not wrong in saying that.
In year 2 of the Wilder tenure, we are already making massive steps forward. This team, it could be big. I mean, we're building a new stadium. It's everything around here is going great. This team is on the up and up, and I have the utmost confidence in them.
Well, it's definitely evident that all the people in the organization have the same goal, and that's success in the football side of things. Yeah. There's money getting put towards the football program. That's obvious, right? You just hired a new athletic director in Casey Fox. He seems like he's really in line with the plan of what Coach Wilder wants to do and playing to his strengths so he can succeed, so that football team can succeed. So I am excited about the future of it. It's about time that Tech takes football seriously. Yeah. You know what I mean? So this is nice to see. As far as the actual football team this year goes, I was looking at the schedule the other day just trying to get like a refreshment. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not an expert. I'm not an analyst. This team could be about 7 or 8-0. It could be a while before they lose a game. Yeah, that's just my opinion.
It's a lot of potential for sure. This team really does have an opportunity to secure the OVC Big South, championship solely this year.
Outright. Yeah, absolutely.
It was a 4-way split last year. That feels un-American.
You don't
really
want that.
Yeah.
That's nice to have a trophy. They got 3 other teams got a trophy too. So no, that's my trophy.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels wrong. It feels dirty. So we're going to try to win outright this year, and hopefully we'll take the trophy with us to the Southern Conference, and we'll pack our bags, hit the road, and we'll skirt on and skedaddle over there, and hopefully we'll win a championship there.
You talk about a riding off into the sunset moment with the OVC championship in hand, and then we just, all right, I'll see y'all later. Then move on to the SoCo. That would be cool. I think they can do it. If there's a football team in Tech history, that could win the OVC outright. It's this bunch out here. I truly believe that.
Yeah, no, this team, it's on the up and up. It's only going to get better, truly. I have the utmost faith in this team.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I do too.
They have so much going for them. They have so much potential, and it's going to be great to see what they can achieve.
It's a fun time. It's a fun time to be a Tech fan. It's a fun time to be a Tech individual who covers Tech football like me and you, and it's just a fun time to be on the Touchdown Tech podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we always have a fun time.
It's good.
Next episode, we might bring out the party hats and the streamers, and we'll have a cake out here or something like that. Celebrate going 3-0.
Hopefully, we'll go ahead and get into that game right now. That matchup against Davidson. They play Davidson this Saturday. Davidson is an FCS opponent. They have lost their first 2 games by a whopping margin. They've gotten dominated by Elon. So not Elon Musk. I don't think it's the fighting. They're not the fighting Teslas. Elon beat them badly. Georgetown beat them really badly too. Similar scores. So you got beat by a basketball school and you got beat by the Teslas. So you're 0-2 if you're Davidson right now, and you're going into Tucker Stadium against a team that has the utmost confidence in their abilities from top to bottom. I don't know. I think it's kind of like lowering the animal into the gator pond. If you want to use that analogy, I don't know. I feel for Davidson this weekend.
Lowering the mouse into the eagle nest, as we like to call it.
It's very similar to that.
So I'm gonna start referring to the stadium as the Eagle Nest.
Eagle Nest. Yeah. But no, they got Davidson this week. They got a bye week after that, so that'll be nice to kind of regroup, because after that you can open up conference play, and that's a game on the road. That's what I'm interested to see. How does this team play on the road? They've been leaning back in the comfortable confines of their home stadium these past 2 weeks, and even against Davidson this Saturday, How do they play on the road? How do they respond if adversity does strike? I think they'll be fine, but it is a talking point that we can hit later on. But against Davidson, there's really not much to say, Adam. I think you just kind of keep the train rolling.
Yeah.
You keep doing what you're doing. You keep trying to start fast because they've started fast in the past 2 weeks, and they've jumped right on their opponents. And they've left no margin for their opponents to come back and make it a game. It was 24-0 before you could turn around against Chattanooga. Rewinded the previous week, it was 65-0 final score against Cumberland. I mean, that was never a game. Yeah. So I personally, I think the train will continue to roll on.
Yeah, no, this team, they can just keep moving through. I think that's the important thing for them is just to keep going through the motions, keep moving. I mean, obviously, you don't want to get complacent. You don't want to get, you don't want to get cocky. Mm-hmm. But this team, they just need to keep on doing what they're doing. Yeah. Nothing needs to change. There isn't really a thing out there besides we talked about earlier with DJ Lincoln. He needs the ball. But nothing needs to change. They're doing great. Everyone on this team is contributing. Everyone's doing a great job. There isn't a sore spot, really. There isn't any sort of issues that need to be worked out.
No, and that's from a fan's perspective. I think if you asked Coach Wilder and the staff, we got a lot to work on. We're nowhere near. We need to
every coach says that, though. Every coach, they could be up, 60-0. We got a lot of mistakes to iron out.
We got a lot to clean up, guys. We got guys over here, Yeah. But I think if your coach is not saying that, you need to. That's the red flag. To me, it is. So I think that's like you said. Most coaches across the country will say the same things, but they got stuff they got to work on. Even
bad ones won't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they'll go back to the drawing board, see what they got to work on with this bye week. That'll be good for them. But yeah, Davidson better watch out because Tech's going to continue to run the football behind that big offensive line that they got. Yeah. They're going to continue to get their playmakers in space. Maury Sullivan, DJ Lincoln's hopefully, Noah Robinson, those guys like that. They're going to get those guys in space, and they're going to create the one-on-one matchups that they know they can win, like they have in these past 2 games, and I could see it get ugly. See it getting ugly pretty quick again.
Oh, yeah. It's honestly, looking at the schedule, it could be a slaughter. It really could.
I'm telling you, that schedule, it could be a while before they lose, but we'll talk about that later on. I think that's all the time we have for today. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to Episode 3 of Touchdown Tech. Again, shout out T-Wags, shout out the whole offensive line, shout out Theron Gaines, all the dudes of the week this week. Shout out Shepard, shout out Adam, shout out me. Okay?
Shout out T-Pain.
So thanks for listening and watching. We'll catch you guys next week.